Be sure to follow our podcast on these available platforms.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Nocturnal Movie Club. We are joined by my esteemed co-hosts Ethan Singh and Jake King. Today, we are breaking down Invincible Season 1. It's a lot to go over. We're going to be talking about the season and then obviously what's to come, because I know what's happening Season 2 and 3, which has already been greenlit. But Ethan, you want to talk about Season 1, break it down a little bit, what happened?
Oh, for sure. And I don't want to give away too much because I feel
if
like
you haven't seen it.
how many people do you think have seen Invincible? Because I feel like a lot of people haven't, and the people who haven't seen it are the people that are gonna love it. Because I feel Invincible is the American comic for people that love anime. It's
Absolutely.
the Justice League done super dark and edgy in the right way. It's like, imagine Superman had a son, and then Superman was not who you thought he was. That's how I picture this show, and it is amazing.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. I mean, it's a mixture of a few things here. Like, you had, like, all right, this is a spoiler. Everything here is spoiler. I can't take it.
Go for it.
You got fake Hellboy. You got like Grayson, who's kind of like Superboy meets Nightwing in a way. So they're taking from a lot, I think, a lot of different scenarios here, but I guess more heavily they lean on DC, I think, for sure.
Oh, definitely. There's so many Justice League characters. Like, you've got fake Wonder Woman, fake Batman, fake Aquaman,
Fake the Flash.
Fake the Flash. They have a Martian Man that doesn't have any of the Martian Man's traditional powers.
He did have the stretch, like he had some of his powers.
Oh, wait, the Martian Man had stretching powers in DC?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
He was, he can stretch. Yeah, he can do all that stuff.
The Green Girl was kind of like the Green Lantern, right? Kind of.
No, because she was like kind of like.
Oh, she was phasing through objects. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who has that power. She's like Danny Phantom. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is.
Kind of Kitty Pryde-esque, I guess. But yeah, she was different. And then who else you had on there? And then you had Immortal.
Yep, it's like a young Superman kind of thing, but a little different.
He was kind of like a Superman adjacent, maybe, maybe
Superman training. It's like, imagine Krypton never blew up, but Krypton was
Immortal and Omni-Man might be the same age, because remember, Immortal's been alive for a long time.
They can't be the same age, but they're the same species.
No, not the same species. Immortal's human.
Human and Ven, whatever it is. I can never pronounce what it is.
Viltrumite.
That's it.
But I think Omni-Man and Immortal might be close to the same age, because Immortal's been around. Remember, Immortal was like Abe Lincoln, or something turned out to be?
Wait a second. Wait, which? Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, remember, Immortal's the one who got cut in half.
Yes. Yeah. No, Immortal's older, because Immortal was there in like ancient Greek era. He's like thousands.
Yeah, but Omni-Man's thousands of years old.
He's also thousands of years old.
Yeah, so they might be around the same age.
I mixed the two up. Yeah, there's no DC equivalent of Immortal, is there?
No, he's kind of like
Wolverine. He's kind of like Wolverine
meets Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
I think Vandal Savage. He kind of looked like Vandal Savage, just designed in a little bit, in a little way, kind of in the face. So they just took like elements, I think, of certain people and like
created Immortal.
Yeah,
because he's the only recurring of that whole set we named that's gonna be coming back.
Yeah, coming back, and his art going further is interesting as well.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, he'll definitely be on the Guardians of the Globe again, and then also even the name Guardians of the Globe. Guardians. It's just like,
that's true. It's so on the nose, like, and that's what I like about it. Like, everything Amazon's doing, like, Amazon's slowly becoming like one of the better superhero studios with The Boys and this.
Well, yeah, it's clearly a niche. It's like realistic superhero stuff.
Yeah, not only realistic but dark. Like, this is dark.
Good dark though. Like, this is like what DC's been trying to do for like 10 years and not doing very well.
Well, no, they can't do this. Like, they can't. Like,
they don't want the R rating.
No, they don't want the R rating, and like, just kill off. Or like, you can't kill off Batman.
That's true. right away at least.
Yeah, like
Not right away.
We'll see what happens with the DC universe going forward with Flashpoint, with Michael Keaton's Batman. Like apparently, Ben Affleck's Batman's going to be axed off. Who knows?
Interesting.
Well, yeah, it's a
That's
goodbye.
definitely
We've discussed this, but it's definitely a goodbye to the DCEU. Is why
Just when it was getting good.
just when it was getting better. It's more like it. But back to Invincible. Season 1's awesome. You got Grayson, who is a Viltrumite. He knows his dad is the most famous superhero in the world, the most powerful superhero in the world. At the start of the series, episode 1, you get, it sets up something very wholesome. It's like, here's this superhero family. You can see Grayson, who's about to get his superpowers, and he's going to join a Teen Titan-esque superhero group. And like, oh, okay, we're gonna get a cool show, like a cool animated family comic book show. And then at the end of season 1, it goes left turn real quick. Everything you thought you were about to get, just like left the building. We get the de facto Justice League, aka Guardians of the Galaxy, get absolutely wiped within a brilliant 3-minute, not even 1 minute. I think it's a 1 minute scene that I've seen like 20 times. Just because it's like what if the whole league went against Superman, and this is what would happen? And it's nasty. What I thought was interesting though, the Batman character that they had, I think Darkwing.
That's right.
In the comics, though, it wasn't Darkwing was a separate. So I like that they added Darkwing, because in the comics, Darkwing is a whole separate character that's not on the Guardians of the Globe. So I thought that was interesting that they brought Darkwing. I think it was a diversity play, honestly, just adding Darkwing to the group, because they had a de facto Batman character, and Darkwing was separate in the comics. He was like something like a hero that Cecil used for to do bad/good things. So I wonder if they switched. Like, I wonder if they had Darkwing join the Guardians of the Galaxy Club, and the original fake Batman join that group, join what Darkwing's character originally was in the comics. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, that scene was just like brutal.
That was
totally brutal.
amazing. Like, that set the scene of just like 0 to 100 real fast. This is going to be a wild ride. It's not what you expect.
Yeah,
because it started off super traditional.
It was like Mortal Kombat levels of fatalities with that too.
Except good. Except really good.
Heads being like pulled apart like that. Like, damn.
It reminded me of Game of Thrones. When he kills the fake Flash. That reminded me of when the Mountain was killing Martel. I forgot his first name.
Oh yeah. But I was just like, Jesus, like, because it was kind of like it goes in slow motion. So I wonder how quickly he smashed that man's head, because the rest of the team is like rushing after them, and I'm like, maybe they don't think he's gonna do it, but I guess it just goes
super fast. Yeah,
super fast. Yeah, it was just, and then I don't even know how he killed the Martian guy. Did he like rip his heart out? I don't even.
Yeah, he ripped his heart, like, well, because when he stretches, his head is like a bump. He just literally grabbed that and crushed it and threw it away.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then
he took Wonder Woman's like mace and then just hit the fake Aquaman right across the face and just said, "That's it, enough of you, bro."
I love that they made Aquaman a fish show.
I know, right?
I was like, this is kind of makes sense. It's kind of funny. It makes sense. But I would love to know everyone's like backstory, like on all the heroes. I wanted more of that team. I was kind of sad to see them go.
Tell me, since you read the comics ahead of time, do you think like there may be a chance we may see their backstories?
Immortal for sure, but I don't think
Immortal for sure. And they did like, because the show is changing. They're not copying everything the comics did word for word. They a few, like, and I'll go over like list of things that they changed. Like with Amber, they made her African American, which is interesting. Another diversity play.
That's good.
Grayson's girlfriend. And then they kept them together, which is something they didn't do in the comics. They're keeping them together a little longer than they initially did.
Yeah,
And then,
that's interesting because, like, in the last episode when they just reconcile, I thought, like, after the previous episode, this felt like a little bit unnatural. Like, I get that he had been through a lot, but I don't know. It just
like they don't work out. They're not meant for each other.
right, and we'll see, but they're changing it. So in the comics, they were broken up by now. Another thing they did with the best friend, Eve and the best friend initially in the comics dated.
they seem to nod to that a little bit in this episode, where he in the last episode where he like grabbed her for a second, but then pulled back.
Yeah, I think it was like a little nod to it.
Wait, the best friend. Wait, who are you talking about? The gay best friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
is he gay in the comics as well?
Yeah, but yeah, he is, but not for a minute. Like they date and then eventually he comes out later in the comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That would have been a better reveal, I think. I kind of like that.
No, just because like it didn't make sense for today's time. Like, cause like back then people weren't necessarily like as forthcoming about those type of things. But now in today's world, everyone is just like doing whatever. So it made sense just to make him immediately
straight off the bat.
Yeah, straight off the bat. So they're just adjusting for the time's sake, I guess. Where back then, the diversity play wasn't as cliche as it is now. It's more likely for a more diverse group of people to be around in his school and whatever. So the adjustments all make sense to me so far. I'm curious to see what other kind of tweaks they do. Like in the show, we see the army. Remember the army that comes on and they have like the
aging army.
Yeah. The Asian army. So they in the comics they have like a huge storyline. They come back into play like in a big way. So I'm curious to see because like in the show they kind of like killed them off in I think like did the planet blow up?
No, I don't think he blew up actually no, he just destroyed like a bunch of their stuff. He like wrecked all their cities.
Through the whole planet. So I don't know if they're gonna.
I still think they can come back because like Omni-Man didn't wipe out the planet itself. He didn't crush the planet. And since time moves super fast, like giving them like 2 months is like giving them several centuries. They could just
right. Another character who we saw briefly in season 1, who's going to be like big in the comics later, Battle Beast. He was the tiger.
Oh, he's definitely gonna come back because Invincible's gonna need revenge. He freaking nearly killed him.
That whole scene where he takes them out.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Battle Beast is actually not a villain per se. Oh, I'm giving too much away. Let me bring it all back. Battle Beast.
I think we could see that though, because like his whole vibe was just, I want a good fight. That's all I want. I want a good fight.
And yeah, his whole backstory is just totally crazy. So expect to see more Battle Beast in future seasons and his storyline. Another character we saw briefly in season 1. So at this last episode, we saw the Viltrumite war and they were taking out everybody, right?
Yeah.
There was a really huge, big Viltrumite with like gray hair. And he was like he was like one of the few standing left. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be a big major player in the coming seasons. Yeah, episodes. Because season 2 and season 3 have already been greenlit.
Yeah,
and they're coming. To expect that guy to play a big major role. We see a hint of Robot and Beast Girl's relationship starting to develop.
That's cute. I like that.
Very cute. So expect to see that evolve more. We see, obviously there's some kind of hints going on between Adam Eve and Invincible, and so we'll see where that goes. If it comes to like kind of a love triangle, we'll see.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's like when it comes to a lot of these series, like I usually end up watching like when the final season comes out. So like I end up watching the whole entire series like up until that point. But it's like now I have to wait because I'm like I can see the roots of this starting, like a relationship between the two of them. But no, like he's back with Amber now, so now I have to wait another year.
Yeah, now he's back with Amber. I don't know what's happening now, so I'm curious to see where they go with this. So yeah, I'm really curious to see where they go. I mean, at the end of the show, they hinted at a lot of things. They gave like a what's to come. Like they showed. Remember he did that space mission and they left the one pilot behind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he takes over Mars.
Yeah, he takes over Mars.
Can't let you go in case this happens. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like they gave us a lot of hints of what's to come. Even with the gross guy from the college, and he's like developing more Reanimen.
Oh yeah, voiced by the doctor, voiced by Ezra Miller, the evil scientist.
Let's get into the casting of this show.
Oh, I would love to, because there's so many A-list actors involved in this project.
Yeah, you gotta love Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, I know.
Yeah, the main cast too. I mean, we got J.K. Simmons, we got
I know
Gunn, Sandra Oh, Zazie Beetz, one of my favorites, Jason Mantzoukas. He's what you call it?
He's Rex.
Rex.
Yes, I love him. You instantly recognize him from The League and a number of other comedy appearances. He's just perfect for it.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is? Like when I was watching this, like part of me thought about Avatar: The Last Airbender just because it like has that American anime style animation, but he kind of reminds me that it's like he's going to be the Sokka of this show.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a good mix of a cast too. Not only do we have A-list actors, but we have veterans of voice acting as well.
Speaking of Mark Hamill, mix of both. He's the Taylor. I could hardly recognize it at first until I, went through the casting. I'm like, oh, that is Mark Hamill. He's done like pretty much every DC cartoon. Now he's doing this one.
And live action. He's in the Flash live action too.
Oh, didn't know that.
Nice.
On the show, on the TV show.
Huh.
He's gone on the show for a couple of things. He played like a version of like an alternate universe version of like the Joker, which is like awesome.
Wow.
I think he called the Trickster or something like that.
But also in this cast, we got Walton Goggins. He was Cecil.
Yeah.
Donald. That was Chris Diamatopoulos, I think his name is. I've seen him in a lot of things. He actually played Mo in the 2012 Three Stooges movie.
Interesting. It's not a Nocturnal movie podcast if Jake doesn't bring up the Three Stooges from 2003. This is like a recurring theme. 2012, whatever it was. My bad. You love that movie. I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's serendipity. It just keeps coming back.
Keeps coming back, man.
Keep coming back.
Like a weird project.
Back onto the cast. I'm looking on the list. John Hamm was apparently in this cast.
John Hamm was in this. Mahershala Ali. We should probably see him come back as well. He played the Titan, who was the guy with the stone skin and became the big organized crime leader.
Oh, that was you got heavyweight. Yeah, it was Ali. 2-time Academy Award winner. Ali.
I didn't. To be fair, I didn't recognize it when I heard him. I'm like, that's just a good voice actor. I didn't recognize him.
Walter Goggins. I didn't recognize his voice, but like. It's totally Walter Goggins looking back at it, and I didn't recognize Ali's voice either until I looked back at it. Only one I recognized right away was J.K. Simmons.
Oh, the one I recognized right away was Doug Cheston, the first frat douchebag that got turned into a robot. That's Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty. He does the voice of, he's the creator of Rick and Morty, and he does the voice of Rick and Morty. And when I heard that voice, I was like, okay, I know who this is right away.
Yeah, I also have Jonathan Groff from Hamilton and Frozen.
Interesting.
He was what's his name? Rick.
Really? That was Rick?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yes, he's a good character too.
Yes, something I would never even think of. Like yeah. I didn't. It was perfect casting. Oh, I did recognize, once I heard it, I did recognize Zachary Quinto as Robot.
Yes.
Oh, right. How could you forget? Yeah. He's kind of got that robotic feel. He played Spock. That's just his vibe now.
Oh, how did I not recognize Andrew Reynolds' voice as the best friend? That makes total sense now.
I know. The best friend is really good too. That's a great voiced act character.
Yeah, Andrew Reynolds, who's from Girls, and he's on that show Black.
Yes.
Black Monday, I believe, with Don Cheadle.
A great great like side character and like everything he's in. He just steals the show.
Yeah.
And do we mention Gillian Jacobs for Adam Eve?
I don't think we did. No.
That's another good one where
No.
she's been around for like a while.
Yeah.
Good voice actor as well.
Really good. And also Clancy Brown, Mr. Krabs himself as Damien Darkblood.
That is Mr. Krabs. I did not know that. Interesting.
That's funny.
Natural progression, Mr. Krabs to a demon detective.
Oh man, I think he was one of my favorite characters on this season, to be honest.
Me too. He was such an interesting one.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. The cast on this show is so stacked.
It's really stacked.
And Steve Ewan, Sandra Oh.
Yeah, I just need to say right now, Steven Yeun, he's an amazing voice actor. Like every project that he's in, I fucking love his voice.
He naturally fits his
period.
His voice is just perfect for like young boy protagonist. It's just there. It's just perfect.
He's been steadily putting in the work, like just ever since The Walking Dead, really like propelling himself to
further and
all
further.
the good things. Yeah,
Oscar nominated movies.
Not Oscar nominated actor.
He's up there now.
Yeah, he's up there now. He's like A-list. He's up there. But yeah, this whole cast is A-list though. From Zombie.
The whole show is A-list.
Yeah.
I'm mad that they chose to go against Falcon and Winter Soldier every week. That I don't know if that was a smart choice.
Because it's not a smart choice, because I like what did I like more, this or Falcon and Winter Soldier? It's a tough one, because some parts of this show I enjoyed way more, like when Omni-Man's just wiping out the entire fake Justice League. That was cooler than anything in Falcon and Winter Soldier to me. But then in terms of like overall plot and how it worked out, probably Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's the same audience they're catering to. The people that like one show are gonna like the other.
Yeah,
they're probably not gonna know about both.
With the Falcon and Winter Soldier, that also depends on your personal connection to the MCU. This is a fresh start. So
that's the other thing. I feel like if you love the MCU as a fan, you're gonna like Invincible for the same reasons.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan of the genre in general, you're going to like Invincible. Of the whole genre of comic books and comic book movies and TV shows, you're going to love the show. But yeah, going against Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think did hurt the show, and why people weren't talking about it every week.
People should. That's the other thing. I think the reason people talk about things is also how much marketing dollars are thrown behind it. And I feel like Amazon put all their money behind Without Remorse. And I don't think did anybody see Without Remorse? You guys see it?
I didn't bother. I heard nothing, but it's boring. It's
I saw it. I thought it was fine.
It looks fine.
I liked it.
Just fine though. That's the problem.
It looks fine. Yeah.
It's like, all right, how do I describe it? It's Michael B. Jordan in a Liam Neeson Taken style movie. Okay.
Right.
Cool. We've seen the movie 50 times already, but now Michael B. Jordan's in it. I'll watch it. I liked it. It's cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
Is it a good movie? No, but what did you expect?
Invincible had such a stock A-list cast. It was, of course it got brought back for season 2. It's kind of like, I think The Boys, similar. The Boys season 1 kind of had little to no buzz, I think. And then season 2, I think the word of mouth picked up later, like after the season was over.
I didn't see Boys like throughout the entire runtime. I didn't even know it existed. I'd heard like, yeah, this is good. Yeah, like I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, and then I was just talking to
a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, I was just talking to some kid at a coffee shop, and the guy was like, "Oh, if you love movies, have you seen The Boys?" I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll watch it," and I loved it. And then I remember right before season 2 started, then I saw a lot of people were watching it and getting hyped about it.
Yeah, I think it was a sleeper hit. So I think this would be the same way. Just like The Boys, everyone just found out about it word of mouth, and I think this will pick up in a similar way.
Yeah,
I think. I'm hoping so.
I found about it through you, OJ. So it definitely
What, The Boys or
no, Invincible.
Invincible. Yeah. So hopefully
we all got it through OJ here.
Yeah, hopefully The Boys picks up in a similar way where Invincible picks up in a similar way where it's just
we keep mixing up the two shows.
Yeah, well, it's so similar. They have a
So
similar. They have a similar tone.
That's the superheroes.
F the superheroes.
They're the only shows that where superheroes die off, and it's not like a, oh no, that's so sad, it's tragic. It's more like, hell yeah, kill more of them. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Although you have to admit, in this last episode of Invincible, it was like, even though you know like where things are gonna go, it's just like it just got to a point of being heartbreaking.
It was, especially when he was like killing that city, and then the girl and the mom he tried to save.
Oh man.
But it was super realistic. Like, these are the kind of decisions, like, if we lived in a world where things like this existed, this would happen.
But Omni-Man is like 100% right to Mark on every single point. He's like, we're living for thousands of years. These people, they don't care about you, and they're gonna live for an instant and then die. What does it even matter? You could probably bring advancements. Like, all of his points are somewhat sound.
They are, but
yeah, but so are Mark's points is like, these are my people. These are like, it doesn't make their life any worse. Less.
Yeah, just trying to help them. But it's also like fighting against an unending tide, right? Like, so it's like, if Omni-Man was to be like, and OJ, you know more than I do, you can correct me. If Omni-Man was to be like, oh, you're right, Mark, let's just stay in here and protect them, the other ones would come back and just destroy them. It's 2 against an army.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
Now, one thing I do have to say, like, actually 2 things. One, I do actually have to commend the show for like being unflinching with all the violence, especially showing a mother and child dying like when a building goes over. Like, it was sad to see, but I'm like, it's something that caught me off guard, because usually they would show the hero saving these people. But the other thing too, about like especially in the last episode, the tonal shifts, because it went from like thousands of people in a city dying to later on when Mark's recovering, and then all of a sudden we get back into the comic relief. It's like, you say this is the incident was all people have been talking about for the longest time, but I don't know. What do you guys think about that with the tone?
The tone, I think the tone is spot on. I feel like if you lived in a world where this type of stuff exists, you'll be used to how things are. Because I mean, in this world that we jump into, they've had heroes for
ever, actually.
The last,
right, with the Immortal, right? Immortal.
The last, let's say 5 to 6 decades, they've had heroes around. So people dying like in that way, it's they still treat it as a tragedy for mass death, but like, they're not fooling themselves knowing everyone's getting saved. You know, like, not everybody's getting saved. Where in these Marvel and DC shows, we act as if everyone always gets saved all the time, as if there's no casualties.
Right.
Where it's just like not scientifically possible, and all the disasters our heroes face in these like other worlds. Like, it's just like, everyone's saved. There was no harm. There was no scratch on anybody. Where it's just like not.
And the one time they did mess up in Marvel with Sokovia and they destroyed that city.
Right.
Constant.
All hell broke loose.
Forever. Yeah. That's the one time though. No other time. Nobody else ever dies.
Well, because we were all shocked at like how much carnage there was in Infinity War, and but we always overlook Civil War.
True. Right, because Civil War involved bombing at the UN, right?
Yeah.
And a number of other things.
But hell, look at Man of Steel. You know how many people died in that fight with him and Grodd? Was it Grodd? No, him and I forget. Zod. Like, so much death, but DCU in general just had like a lot of kills. Like, Batman was even killing folks, and Batman doesn't kill, like, has a no kill rule. So it's just like, it's just a different vibe, totally, in general. They did not shy away from how death should realistically be shown. Even when Williams, like, friend got his boo thing got like reanimated. Robot. He got roboted. Yeah, robotized.
Yeah,
androided. Like, that's, they get, if that was Marvel DC, they would have saved the day. He would have,
it would never have happened.
Yeah.
They would have caught it just in time. Nobody would have got hurt. Everyone went home unscathed. But that's another good thing, right? Good shows should have consequences. Like if you mess up, you do something wrong, there are consequences. Mark did not go to help his friend's like love interest in time, and as a result, he became a robot. Those are real consequences.
Yeah. Jake said something earlier in regards to anime. Like this does remind me a lot of like reading an anime, just because like in anime they actually have consequences. A lot of times we don't notice it on the American versions because they like to Americanize it, where everyone lives and stuff.
Yeah.
But like in the actual like real over anime stuff, it actually this kind of stuff happens all the time where there's actually consequences.
It kind of reminds you of One Punch Man. Like Invincible reminds you a lot of. I don't know if you guys have seen One Punch Man. You guys seen it?
Yeah, it has some One Punch qualities. One Punch.
You haven't, Jake? Okay, Jake, you need to watch that. 2 seasons are out. That's hard, bro. You're gonna love that if you like this, because in that one, like entire cities get wiped out like every episode, and there's hundreds of superheroes all over the place.
He has One Punch has a lot of Superman qualities.
Yeah. It's just a running meme because he's like, like Invincible is invincible. One Punch Man is quite literally invincible. That's his whole thing. His whole thing is that he kills everybody in one punch. But that show, I bring it up because cities get wiped out all the time, and it's like we're just going back to normal.
Right. Which would be normal if we live like it goes back to like the Godzilla versus Kong. Like we lived in a world of kaigus, and life would continue. We would still go to the bar. We just now adjust. Like there's an alarm. I mean, there's a kaiju nearby. Run,
right.
Or So I think we just have to take that into accordance when thinking about the tone, I guess.
And it's good when they do, like even when Omni-Man started, like when they declared Omni-Man a threat in the last episode, and they said they had an extinction level event or something, or like a Armageddon level, some sort of like huge, like this is it. It's kind of like when you think back about like real history, World War II. London was bombed for 60 plus days by the Germans. They went to work as normal. They lived life as normal. Kids were just sent to the countryside. And whenever the planes were flying overhead, they just say, all right, get under your desks. Alarms are sirening. Sirens are going off. Just hide. But people just carried on like nothing was going on.
Well, yeah, you think about what we just lived through. We just went through a mass pandemic.
Also true. Very recent. Yeah. We just got used to it.
Stop. Yeah.
We just kept doing it.
Yeah, we just adjusted. So life literally changed for the whole world in a matter of a week, and it just things carried on as they are. We weren't wearing masks before this time of year, but now we all wear masks.
That's normal.
Yeah, now it's normal. So things just evolve and continue. So it's just I think we forget it because we're just not used to it. But yeah, keep that in mind. What I did like, I don't know if you guys caught that hint. I think Ethan, you brought up earlier. You mentioned Omni-Man and him having to all the other Viltrumites coming to the world. So remember the character with the one eye comes to visit Invincible at the end of the show. He tells Invincible like that they're going to be coming for you. Better watch out because they're going to be coming for you. The rest of the Viltrumites, and then the guy with the one he plays a bigger role. That's Seth Rogen's character. I don't know if you guys know, caught his voice.
Oh yeah.
He has a big part in the fight when it comes to the rest of the Viltrumites and all that stuff. The cool thing, which I'm excited about next season, we're going to see some more world jump, more world. Like last year, we got to go to Mars. Next season is going to be some more traveling on to different planets, so, which should be fun. And I think we'll see where Nolan went. And you guys will find it very interesting. Where Nolan went.
Yeah.
AKA Omni-Man.
Omni-Man.
You guys, when we catch up with Nolan, it'll be very interesting to see where he is.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
What developments he's made. It'll be very interesting.
It's gonna be a tough one because season 1 was pretty strong. I think I didn't really think I had anything to complain about. They had some filler-ish episodes in the middle where I'm like, I guess.
I wouldn't say about fillerish episodes. Like I would say like some subplots that felt like they dragged like a little too long.
like the robot one. I feel like that dragged a bit.
That did. Also the thing with between Mark and Amber, I felt like okay, like it felt a little too.
You thought the robot subplot dragged?
I felt I felt dragged. Yeah.
Yeah.
The robot subplot.
Yeah, I thought it felt dragged. I like the characters
I read
involved.
the comics.
I like the characters involved, but it kind of was like, eh.
If anything happened really fast. The robot subplot of him being like shady and weird. Maybe because I read the comics and it went on for a lot longer in the actual comic books. Yeah. So in the comics, that robot subplot went on a lot longer.
I think my big problem is that like Mark is like incredibly powerful, invincible, and so is Omni-Man. But these robots are just beating the hell out of them like at any chance they get.
Oh, I was just talking about Robot, like Robot from the team and his subplot.
No. I actually like that. I mean, like the Ezra Miller's mad scientist character that created those mutated androids.
That was only one. That was only one episode.
I thought
you guys were talking about Robot on the team.
Oh no.
That was interesting. I liked his plot. I like his character a lot. Of all the what are they called? Guardians of the Globe? What are they? The fake Justice League? That's what I call them in my head.
Yeah, Guardians of the Globe. Yeah.
By far the coolest is Robot. By far.
Oh yeah.
Zachary Quinto is the strongest.
Yeah.
I love this whole subplot. I like the fact that he's gone through all these things. He's orchestrated this mastermind plan. He's actually a human. It's pretty awesome. He's like the Tony Stark in a way.
Yeah.
With all these robots hanging around him all the time.
Yeah, and it only gets crazier.
Oh, I can imagine. He's gonna like if he ever chose the villain route, which I could definitely see him doing, he'd be probably the hardest one to fight.
Absolutely. Yeah. The only
thing OJ's got that smile on his face. OJ's got that smile on his face where it's like,
you know,
I'm trying not to ruin the whole series.
I'm gonna read this.
It's hard.
I'm gonna read this, and then we'll have like a separate discussion.
It's so funny because, it's different because like with the MCU and the DCU, there are so many stories to like where they just take elements of different storylines, and that universe has rebooted so many times as to where like the Invincible has only happened one time and it's not going to happen again. So it's only one source material, whereas like the DCU and MCU, there's like multiple source material to take from. So you never know what they're going to take from. Whereas this is only the one source material, so you kind of know everything that's going to happen, like regardless, as where like Superman has died multiple times in many different storylines in many ways. So like you never know what's going to happen in the DCU or MCU. But this like it's less material to like go off. So like already a lot. We're just reading the comics. Season 2. What do you guys want to see season 2 of Invincible?
I really don't know what to expect at this point.
Same. I want to see Invincible start to get more in sync with his powers. He's like the only protagonist. Like he's got the strongest plot armor in like in any cartoon I've seen recently or anime recently. He's like the strongest plot armor. He's got Naruto level plot armor. This is the only guy I know that can get beaten up to near death every episode, and then be like, next episode, I'm completely fine. I'm ready to go fight again and get beat up again. Really testing out the invincibility of his name. I want to see him actually learn to use his powers a bit more, get a little bit stronger, at least be somewhat of a match for Omni-Man. At least be strong enough to kill the Immortal. Because I think right now the Immortal will probably beat the hell out of him. That's what I want to see.
Jake.
I still don't know what I want to see. Like, I actually love the ride that the show has taken me on so far. So I want it to surprise me.
Season 2, I'm hoping to see how he fits in with the Guardians of the Globe, and see if he joins the team, and see if Adam Eve joins the team. I'm curious if those things happen because they seem to be headed in that direction. I'm curious to see him go on his own adventures and not have Omni-Man there as a clutch. Omni-Man has left Earth. So I'm excited to see his own adventures and how that plays out.
I think it's a detriment, but sorry.
With him being the main superhero. Oh, yeah, I think it is a detriment too, but like, what do we're going to have the mask killer or no? But he's a close he's equally as strong for the most part. He's still the strongest hero on Earth.
Yeah.
Even with Immortal. So I'm curious to see that happen. I'm curious to see what happens with him and Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what's happening with those creatures from Mars. What the hell is going on with the Reaniman, with the robots? I'm curious to see what happens with Robot and a Monster Girl. So there's a lot of things I'm excited about to see where things go, even though I know where they're going.
One more thing.
You're just like
superhero deaths. I want to see more superhero deaths.
Well, you'll get plenty of that.
I don't want to see Invincible just wipe out some superheroes.
Yes.
Like the stone armored guy, I forgot his name already, Titan. I want to see
Zachary.
Invincible pop his superhero killing cherry by killing him off. I'd love to see that.
No, Stone, he's a good guy.
Oh, he played him like a child. I want to see him go on a dark revenge.
He did play him like a child.
No, he played. That was unnecessary. Like I was like, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, Titan. This is a righteous mission. You're a good guy. Mark saved your life. It's good. And then he just did a 180 of just like, everybody clear out. This is mine now.
Yeah, but you know what? That actually is something I admire the show a lot for, because when his dad says, don't help out somebody, I don't think you can trust him. Like,
yeah.
You would think that like they would just make Titan like a completely good person that's misunderstood. But then it showed like real world consequences. Sometimes you can't trust everybody.
And that's what I like about it. That's why I was.
Well, and you Invincible watch and Omni-Man like watched the whole thing happen too. Even more diabolical.
Yeah, and
remember he like watched the whole thing, didn't help out.
Yeah, because that's like the whole dad stereotype, right? Like the wise dad teaching his kid. Like oftentimes I feel like in like movies from like 20 years ago, it was always either the dad is either super on point or he's just absent from the picture. And like I feel like gaming has brought back the whole dads are a big thing, like God of War 2019, Last of Us 1 and 2. The dad is teaching you, mentoring you, and this is kind of really big in media right now. And every single time Omni-Man's been on point. He's been like, don't do this, don't do that. The only thing he's been questionable on is now we need to enslave the earth. That's the only time where it's like, wait a second, hold on.
Well, I would also argue that putting his son's head through the subway, like killing all these people, like in the process, like this is fucking traumatizing shit.
You gotta I can get it. I can get the concept, right? Because they look like humans, but they are not humans. Mark is half human. But at the end of the day, his dad's trying to prove the point of like, it's like for us, like if you killed an ant, does anybody care? Nobody cares. Yeah. And he's sort of like making the argument that
we're ants.
Yeah. We're ants to those guys. And it's like it does. And the only problem is that you and the ant look the same. They're not that much smaller than you, but they are that much weaker than you, and they can never hurt you.
Yeah, it's actually interesting you brought that up, Ethan, because there was a shot in one of the episodes where there's a bug crawling underneath the car.
You can't mate with ants.
Which is it?
Can't mate with ants. Wait, say it again, Jake. There was a scene with an ant?
Not with an ant, but with a bug that was like crawling on the floor right outside of a car, and then the car door opens and a foot squishes it. So it's interesting.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that. But that's why I'm like, I know Omni-Man's throwing some controversial theories out there, some really weird stuff, but he's kind of right. They are like a completely different species. They're literally like Kryptonians, for a more popular word of what they are. They're just they're like a whole race of Supermen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to argue that like he does have some very strong points. It's just like at the cost of so many human lives, us being humans, like maybe.
Yeah, exactly. We can't really root for him because that's like rooting against ourselves. But his logic is sound.
Well, it's like, what if Krypton didn't need like the sun to get their powers or whatever? They would be the dominant species without the universe. Like, so it would make sense that they would just, and they don't like completely wipe planets out. They just like take them over and like make them part of their empire.
Improve them. Yeah.
Yeah. And like they bring them technology and all types of stuff, and like the Earth would do better by inbreeding with these people and whatnot. So like
probably like when the Romans built roads to everywhere they went. Also, a little bit of enslaving of the people, which is probably going to happen here. But
yeah, right.
It may be good. It may be good.
We're already like, or yeah, which has already happened, which is already happening, just in different ways.
Yeah.
Not to get dark.
Oh man, I really need to start reading the comic because it's such a good one. I haven't seen a cartoon like this where I'm like, oh wow, I really love this since probably One Punch Man, but that's anime.
Yeah, the comic is A1. It's not like the best thing you'll ever read, but like you can get
I agree.
There's a lot of great stuff. I mean, if you're just like super curious to know what happened, then
I'm curious, like
read the comic.
Because like even when I watched The Boys, I was like, I kind of want to read the comics for this too, but do I want to? I don't know.
I didn't. I was almost tempted, but I didn't love the art style of The Boys comics. So
yeah, that's the reason why. But I figured the cartoon style and the comic style are probably similar, aren't they? Right, OJ?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
So I figured like I wouldn't have like that jarring dissonance. So
you won't have that jarring incident at all. So it's quite similar. So I think it's a more easier read. I think having like the similar comic style.
Yeah. Overall, I liked it though. I mean, like so far we've been like this year has been fairly good for superhero TV shows. Probably one of the best years so far for superhero TV shows.
And the next, I think, WandaVision, Rock and Soldier, and I even hear Jupiter's Legacy is decent.
Wait, what show?
Jupiter's Legacy that just came out on Netflix.
Oh, I've never even heard that.
But wait, no, Invincible season 1. What are we giving it?
I'll go first. I think I'm gonna give season 1 8.5 out of 10. I really liked it. I thought it was
higher
awesome.
Than I thought.
No, I really like this. I think if I think back to good anime, good cartoon shows coming out this day and age, this is really strong. I'm a big fan of everything Amazon is doing. I think if Amazon keeps up this like trend of this is how they make superhero products, they'll be overtaking some of the bigger studios soon. I love the take. I love it. It's so interesting. It's so creative. It's out of the box. 8.5 out of 10. Great.
Yeah, I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I really love every single cast member in this this ensemble. The animation is really good. Like I feel like it's like the next level of animation next to Avatar: The Last Airbender. My only complaints was that some parts of episodes feel a little bit slow. I feel like the time really needs to be moving a little quicker here. But I realize like I'm still in the middle of an episode. Like I'd like it to get to the end already. And the love story section with Amber, like while I don't hate it, I did feel like it got very predictable in places. Like, you better be here. I'm like, he's not going to be here. Like, it just felt like a waste of time in a way. But those are just minor nitpicks, though. I thought this was a really solid season. Animation, voice acting, the themes, and potential for what they can do in the future. I'd say a solid 8.
Nice.
I'm gonna do a solid 8 as well. I think from the animation between the storylines, I think it's such a strong story that I can't wait to see more. And I thought for the most part, they hit a home run. So there's room to grow. So I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Nice. And the most positive.
They could have spent more times, on different story on different points. But it's a strong 8 out of 10.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm the most negative out of all of us, but I keep giving out the highest ratings. I need to reevaluate my life. What the hell's going on?
That's our recap of Invincible season 1. We'll be back next week talking outrageous trash
taste.
Trash taste.
Our trash taste.
Forward to this.
We apologize in advance. We'll see you next week.